Hello and welcome to this overview introduction to automated salary sacrifice functionality for Opera 3 payroll. My name is Samantha Garrett and I'm one of the product specialists here at Pegasus Software. Over the next few minutes or so, I'm going to firstly familiarise you to the concept of salary sacrifice. So what is it all about? Why would you as an employer look to introduce a salary sacrifice scheme? How this will then affect your employees? But more importantly, why have we introduced this functionality into Opera 3 payroll, where I can then go through and demonstrate to you how this operates within the software itself. So what is salary sacrifice? A salary sacrifice arrangement is basically an agreement between the employer and the employee to change certain terms of their contract of employment for financial benefit. The idea behind this arrangement is really quite simple. The employee gives it part of their cash earnings, and in return, the employer provides non-cash benefits that are exempt from tax and/or national insurance. So in some circumstances, salary sacrifice can financially benefit both the employer and the employee by significantly reducing tax and/or national insurance payments that are due. Some examples of salary sacrifice schemes may include pension contributions, childcare vouchers, and cycling to work schemes. So what impact might a scheme such as this have on your employees looking to join? So yes, okay, we've just said that in some instances, salary sacrifice can be beneficial for both the employer and the employee financially, which is why these schemes are so popular. However, it is also important to understand the other effects that such a scheme can have on an employee and weigh these up against the benefits, such as for an employee to be entitled to receive statutory payments, such as statutory sick pay, maternity pay, ordinary and additional paternity pay and so on, the employee's average weekly earnings must be at or above the lower earnings level. If a salary sacrifice arrangement reduces an employee's average weekly earnings below the LEL, then the employee may not be entitled to receive these statutory payments. So bear in mind that a salary sacrifice scheme could potentially cause some employees to lose their entitlement altogether, or it could affect the amount of statutory pay an employee receives. In addition, it could also affect their entitlement to other benefits such as working or child tax credits. So although it might be best for the majority of your employees, you may have some lower paid employees that would not benefit from participating in such a scheme. So why have we introduced this functionality into Opera 3? Well, in actual fact, simple salary sacrifice functionality has already been available in both Opera 2 and Opera 3 for quite some time. However, this only handled manual, value-based, simple sacrifices. Now, this is fine for schemes such as childcare vouchers or cycling to work schemes, but it doesn't help where the sacrificed value is to be based on a percentage. As an example, a pension salary sacrifice scheme. Generally, most pension salary sacrifice schemes are likely to be based on the employee sacrificing a fixed percentage of their gross pay. So previously, Opera could not calculate this amount automatically. What makes this process even more challenging is where the employees have varying pay each pay period. So not only is this exceptionally time-consuming, but it is subject to data entry and calculation errors, not to mention limiting the traceability for reporting purposes of these sacrificed amounts. So with the impact of auto-enrolment, more and more Opera 3 customers want the ability to use percentage-based salary sacrifice schemes for their pension schemes. This is now possible, however, in addition, they can also create accurate contribution export files to be sent through to both Nest and Now Pensions. This functionality is only available in our current flagship product, Opera 3. Opera 2 payroll customers who want this functionality will need to upgrade to Opera 3. So let's have a look at this in the software itself. How flexible is the software and how does it work? Well, the first thing to note is that the term salary sacrifice is not a deduction. It is simply used to describe a change in the contract of employment between the employer and the employee. This is reflected in the software by processing the sacrifice as a negative payment, not a deduction, therefore reducing the employee's gross pay. So let's focus on an example of a percentage-based salary sacrifice pension scheme. I'm using a Nest pension scheme where I can easily enable this pension to be used as a salary sacrifice scheme. The percentages itself is actually taken from the default percentages defined on the pension scheme. However, we can override them per employee, providing further flexibility. You'll then notice further options available, such as to optionally contribute the employer NI savings as a top-up to the employee's pension, either topping up using the entire saving, or we might want to specify a portion of that saving. Now, as we said, the sacrifice is processed as a negative payment rather than a deduction. We then use a payment profile that is linked through to our salary sacrifice pension scheme. So we can specify that yes, this is a salary sacrifice payment, and then we can also define the type of sacrifice, pension or other. We are doing a pension sacrifice example, so therefore we have linked it to our salary sacrifice Nest pension scheme. This payment is also taxable and NI-able, so that the sacrificed amount reduces both the employee's tax and national insurance accordingly. However, do make sure that you verify that the sacrifice you're putting in place is exempt from tax and/or national insurance contributions. For further information, check your employment law policies with HR, HMRC, or your pensions provider. So all we need to do now is add the payment to our participating employees ready to process. For your ease of use, there are various ways that you can do this depending on the type of sacrifice you're going to be processing. So for a pension-related sacrifice, all we need to do is simply add the pension scheme to the employee's records, either individually or in bulk. This will automatically add our salary sacrifice payment profile as the pension scheme is already linked to that particular payment. So there you have it, we're ready to go. Let's see this working. So each time we run the payroll, automatically the percentage-based value of the pension scheme will be calculated and then assigned to the salary sacrifice payment as a negative amount. So this will then appear on the payslip, either printed, or if you're using the payroll self-service web application for Opera 3, you can choose to upload your payslips to the website to allow your employees to access them electronically. So there you can see firstly the printed payslip, showing the salary sacrifice appearing as a negative payment, therefore reducing the gross pay, and we can also see the employer's pension contributions. Alternatively, if you are using payroll self-service for Opera 3, your employees can then log in online to access their web payslips electronically, like so. And of course, all of the other associated reports and employee history reflects these new sacrificed amounts. So salary sacrifice in Opera 3 payroll allows the automatic calculation of both percentage and value-based sacrificed pension contributions, which can then be analysed but also included in accurate contribution export files to both Nest and Now Pensions. Salary sacrifice can also be used for non-pension payment types. It's flexible, it's easy to use, and it will save you time, but it's also eliminating the need for manual data entry and calculations, which ensures accuracy and traceability throughout the entire process. Many Opera 3 customers will benefit from this functionality when they're looking to enrol a number of their workers into a workplace pension. Thank you for taking the time to watch this introduction to salary sacrifice in Opera 3 payroll. For further information, please contact your Pegasus partner or visit pegasus.co.uk.